You hear me fine? I'm giving honor to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Giving honor to our pastors, Logan and Carly Morris in their absence, our elder and missionary Allen in their absence. They're in Georgia. But the same God that is in Georgia is the same God that is. So we are in good standards. Just stand with me as we pray. Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you once again, mighty God, for a privilege to stand in your pulpit, mighty God, Father. Nothing that I have done of myself that makes me worthy, mighty God. But Father, it is you alone, mighty God, Father. So I ask you, mighty God, to reduce me, mighty God. Step me out of the side, mighty God, Father, because your people come, mighty God, not to hear a word from me, mighty God, but hear a word from you, mighty God, Father. Let every word that I speak, mighty God, Father, let it come across with anointing and power, mighty God. Father, let every word that comes out of my mouth, mighty God, be life-changing, mighty God, Father. Transformation, mighty God, Father. Lord, I give you all the glory, mighty God, Father. I refuse to take any credit for myself, mighty God, because I know without you, mighty God, Father, I can do nothing, mighty God. So I give it all to you, mighty God. Every gift, mighty God, that you have given to me, mighty God, I use it, mighty God, only for your glory. In your precious name, and the church say amen. Amen. You may be seated. I promise I won't be no longer than 2 or 3 hours. Make sure you're listening. Right, so can you go ahead and put up my message in the sound room, please? Oh, we talk about something different, all right? So I want to talk about the 5 steps to greater intimacy with God. What is the definition of intimacy? It's a close and familiar and usually affectionate or loving personal relationship with one another, or a person or a group. It's a close association with a detailed knowledge or a deep understanding of a place or subject, a period of history. Being intimate involves the mixing of our life with another, and mingling of the souls, a sharing of our hearts. There is something we all long for because it is how God made us. We were designed to connect to one another. I was researching this sermon. There's a young lady named Shanna Shute who explains it this way. She says the word intimacy simply means into me see. And what she says is it's a blending of our hearts with another so we can see into who they really are and they can see into who we really are. So our relationship with God is not all about words, but God has the ability to transform and pass our mere lip service to see what our heart is really saying. Because often what our words say and how we really feel doesn't always measure up. All right. Now, step 1. John 10:10 says, in the King James Version, the thief comes not but to steal and kill and to destroy. And I come that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly. Now, I always love that verse because we live in a society where people put such limits on life. And for some people, every day is a bad day. And we serve an awesome God who went ahead and said, look, I came that you not just have life, just average life. Not just that you every day the ends are just meaning, or every day you're just barely making it. But I come that you may have life more abundantly. And if we understood the value of the word abundance, because one thing God can't do is lie. So when God said, I come that you may have life abundantly, we ought to pursue the abundance that God wants us to have. Why should I serve a God who can only give me a little? When I have an option to serve a God who can give me the abundance. And see, he can give me the abundance of everything because he owns everything. And for everything is his. So I'm not out there looking for somebody else. Because I was talking to a young lady, and she's Hindu, and they worship cows. And I to each his own. But I never understood that. How can you worship something that, I like to believe that I'm smarter than a cow. So if I'm smarter than a cow, how can I worship the cow? But sometimes we're raised in a way, and because of traditions, we do things based simply off of traditions. I remember a story a long time ago that a husband came into the kitchen and his wife was cutting the ends off of the prime rib. And the husband asked the wife, why do you cut the ends off the prime rib? And she says, I don't know. She says, for years my mother did it. That's how we learned how to do it. He said, but it doesn't make sense. The ends are good. Why would you cut off the ends? And he says, well, call your mother and ask her why. Because there's got to be a reason why. So she called her mother and said, Mom, my husband is asking me, why do we cut off the ends? I told him, that's how you taught me. And she said, well, I don't know. That's how my mother taught me. You just cut off the ends. So she said, well, the husband said, no, this is ridiculous. Today we're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to do a three-way. Call your mother and ask her why. So they called the mother, the third mother, and they asked her, Mom, why do we cut off the ends of the meat? And the mother said, I don't know why y'all still do it, but when I was growing up, pots only came in one size. So we cut off the end to make it fit. And yet, for generations going, these people have been cutting off the ends because they have no understanding, because it's just tradition. So often, sometimes we do stuff, even though it doesn't make no sense, but because we're used to doing it, we continue to do it. Yeah. So today, I want us to be able to understand that there is so much more in God than we see. There's so much more than God. If you understand the value of God, you understand that your relationship with God gets greater every day. And if it's not getting greater every day, then you have to check yourself, because God doesn't change. So there must be something that we're doing with ourselves. So God himself is the abundant life that we should seek, not a relationship with the opposite sex. Because obviously, sometimes when we think of the word intimacy, the first thing that comes to mind is that, oh, there's got to be a relationship that involves more than just holding hands. And try to keep this PG-13. All right. So Exodus 34:14, the King James Version says that, for thou shalt worship no other God, for the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. See, we were created to worship God. We were hardwired to have a relationship with God. So when a relationship outside of our relationship with God begins to take predominant status, God gets jealous. Because he understands that if you only knew what I did for you, no matter how much your husband loves you, no matter how much daddy tell you that you're his little girl, or mommy whispered to you, don't tell nobody else, but you're always my favorite. No matter what, none of them can do what God has done for you. Because at the end of the day, not one of them can say that, you know what, I will lay down my life for you. And though that we may have somebody, a lot of times people will say, oh, I die for you. When I was growing up, people used to say, I go to hell and back for you. Let me tell you, I ain't going to hell for nobody. I don't care if we ain't that good friends. I'm not going to hell and back. I'll go to heaven with you. I'm not even going to heaven and back. If I get there, I'm staying. But people are so quick to say things. Step one is that we understand that we must have enjoy the abundance of God. Step two says, understanding that an intimate relationship with God is individualized. I love this because one size doesn't fit all. Amen. We live in a culture that tells us that, you look at these magazines, Cosmopolitan, the young girls got these 17, the guys get GQ, and they show you, especially the girls, she's a size 0 eating a Cheerio, and she feel like she's still full. And they show you the suit, and it fits her really nice. And then they tell you that one size fits all, and you go to get the suit because you want to look like what she looks like, and it doesn't work. One size doesn't fit all. And that is the biggest marketing mistake ever to be announced. Because there are some things we know, there are some clothes that fit you, that are made just for you. They're made for your shape, and they're made for your size, and they hug what you need to hug, and hide what you need to hide, whatever way. But when you can't put on one size for everything. And so I am so glad that I serve a God whose relationship with me is individualized, because my needs is different from your needs. And my wants are different from your wants. And how God saved me may not be how God saved you. And the things that I stumble over may be the things that you wouldn't even think about stumbling over. But because our relationship with God, see, if we understand how great God is, we understand that God is so awesome that each one of us can have an individualized, personalized relationship that is set for ourselves. Look, I got a suit made a couple months ago, and it was a little big, and the guy said, "Don't worry about it." And he fitted, man, and he fitted, and by the time he finished, man, it was like a custom. It was nice. My wife was like, "Don't gain no weight. Because if you gain any more weight, that's going to be gone." I mean, it was cultured just for me. And that's the kind of God that we serve, that our relationship is cultured just for us. It's a one-on-one experience that we can't get with nobody else. And when we think that, how awesome God is, there's what? There's probably more than 20 of us here. And God is so awesome that he can be able to have a personalized relationship with each one of us. And none of us feel like we're missing out on anything. And none of us ought to be jealous of one another, because all the time that God has for you, he has the same amount of time for me. So we're not, in a relationship, sometimes people get jealous because you spend too much time at work. You spend too much time this way. You don't spend enough time with me. And God is saying, I'm always here. I'm always available. I'm always available. I will not chase you, but I will remain here for you. And as long as you pursue me, I will always be there for you. Some things with God are so personal, so intimate, that they cannot be described with words. They can only be felt with the heart. This is how true intimacy with God is. We feel that no one else can really understand the special bond that we share with him, because it's altogether personal. It's mine. It's mine. And sometimes we make a mistake. Sometimes we make a mistake when we don't want to share the awesomeness of God, because we think that there's not enough God to go around. So sometimes as Christians, we're afraid to share who God is, because we feel that maybe my time will be limited. Or some people feel that you know what, I know God is so great, but I don't need to tell him everything. I just put him on the shelf, and when problems get too big and I can't handle it, I'll just call on God. But God says, I want your big problems. I want your small problems. I want it all, because at the end of the day, I was created. My arms are bigger than yours. I can handle the load that you can't even imagine. And see, and one thing that I realize is that no matter how crazy our life is, God will never give us more than we can bear. So sometimes we get to the point where we feel like we're about to break, and the Lord is going, it's just a test. It's just a test. I'm not going to break you, but sometimes I got to bend you so I can shape you and develop you into who you're supposed to be. And sometimes we miss it, and we turn away from that crucial time when we're being bent and we're being pressed and we're going through the fire, and we jump out too early and we miss our blessing. And God is saying, all I want to do is bless you. Yes, it's going to be hard, but nothing worth having comes easy. You're going to have to go through the test, because in order for me to validate you, you must be tested. You think that Job, that God could brag about Job if he never tested him? If he was validated. And often we go through so much because a lot of times we miss it. And I was explaining to somebody, be careful what you ask for from somebody else, because you don't know what they went through to get it. And a lot of times we mess up and we see somebody else and we want what they have, and we don't even know what they went through to get it. I told this story one time in Sunday school. I had a good friend, and I was mad. Let me tell you, I was mad at God. And I didn't understand, because I was like, I'm going to church, I'm paying my tithes. Every time I turn around, this guy seems to be having it going on. He's buying his wife a new rock, and they're doing this, and they're doing that. And I'm like, God, something is wrong. Because, every Sunday I'm in your house. I'm not a bench warmer. I'm an active participant in the things of God. And I can't understand why this person could be so blessed. And yet, every day it seems I seem to be struggling and struggling. And one day, after a few years, the Lord didn't say nothing. And sometimes the Lord doesn't say anything. He hears you, but he's not going to say nothing. In time, you'll understand. And one day, the same friend called me and said, they sold a house in New York and they moved to Florida. And he says, I need a bankruptcy attorney. He said, I got $100,000 in credit card debt alone. 2 cars. He had a Mercedes custom license plate. And I was like, I don't understand. And then after that, I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Because in my infinite stupidity, not even wisdom, I wanted what they had. But I didn't want to pay that cost. And so a lot of times we get jealous of people and we have no understanding. And the Lord would say, if you just wait. If you just wait on me. Because the blessings of the Lord add what? No sorrow. So if you just wait. But sometimes we look at materialized things and we take that as blessing. But at the end of the day, you can't take it with you. It says if you haven't ever committed yourself to a personal relationship with God, it is not laden with difficult requirements and religious duties. He doesn't ask you to change yourself before you commit yourself to him. He just asks that you come as you are, confess your sins to him, recognize your need to have your sins forgiven, and accept his gift of forgiveness that he's offered to you through his death on the cross. After you have done this, you can begin a lifelong conversation with him, which is part of the abundance of life. See, it's not easy if we explain that to people that, I often hear people say that, if you knew my story, if you understood where I came from, I can't serve God because I'm so far past there. And I'm like, that's only the devil telling you that. That's only the devil telling you that. Because if you read the word for yourself, what I love is that every analogy that somebody will give you why they can't serve God, there's an answer in the Bible. Because if you look at Paul was a murderer and happy to do it. And yet, one of the greatest writers of the book of the Bible come out of that lineage. That's the God that we serve. So you can't look at where you are and say that I am at a place where I'm too far away from God. Because God is saying no. All you have to do is open up your heart and accept me. Ask for forgiveness because I'm able. And one thing, God is not like us. He doesn't, when people say, I forgive you, but I ain't forgetting. God isn't that way. It's not, I forgive you. And I cast it in the sea of unforgiveness as if it never happened again. And that's the relationship that we have with him. So John 3:16, we all know it says, for God so loved the world that he gave what? His only begotten Son. And whoever believes may what? Have everlasting life. But John 3:16-18, that's the King James Version. The Message says it this way. It says, this is how much God loved the world.
He gave his son, his one and only son. And this is why, so that no one needs to be destroyed. By believing in him, anyone can have whole and lasting life. God didn't go to all the trouble to send his son merely to point an accusing finger, telling the world how bad it was. He came to help, to put the world right again. Anyone who trusts him is acquitted. Anyone who refuses to trust in him long since has been under the death sentence without even knowing it. And why? Because of the person's failure to believe in the one-of-a-kind God when introduced to him. See, our job is only to introduce God to people. That's our job, to only introduce God to people. What they do with that information afterwards is surely their business. But our business as to be an effective Christian is to be able to say, let me introduce you to who. Because look, I will tell people who I am now is not who I used to be. And I owe it all because of God. Amen. Because if it had not been God, I would have been messed up a long time ago. Why? Because that's just who we are. This society that we live in, there is so much earthly influence. And if we don't spend the time in the Word, we spend the time in the world. And the next thing you know, we begin to take on and begin to manifest the things of the world instead of the things of the Word. So step 3 says, talk with God. Relationship with another person requires conversation. So relationship with God is the same. Conversing with him happens through reading the Bible and prayer. Prayer is what? A two-way conversation between God. 1 Peter 5, 6 through 8 says, humble yourself, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. Cast all your cares upon him, for he careth for you. It doesn't say cast, look, it doesn't say cast some of your cares, or cast what you cannot handle, or cast what you feel like. It says cast all your cares. All your cares. Because if you give it all to God, then he's able to deal with it. You ever had somebody who told you they want advice from you, but they won't tell you the whole story? Yes. And it's like, if you don't tell me the whole story, I can't help you. Because my advice is only based off of what you're telling me. And because sometimes we get into a situation and we don't want everybody to know, but it's like, if you want help, you need to tell the whole story so you can get the help that you need. And that's why God has said, look, I'm here for you. Cast all your cares, because whether you cast it or not, he already knows. He just wants to hear it from you. And that's why the relationship with God is so incredible, because nobody can petition God greater than you. No. I could not understand going to a priest and telling a priest my story. And then, because I got to figure that communion must last a long time, and everybody's coming in with their story. Now he's got to remember all this and then go and tell it to God. Because nobody can talk to God the way I can. Because if I need something from God, I don't want to take a chance that you miss something, because it may be crucial. So I want to be able to go to God and say, look, God, I want you to hear it from the source. This is what I'm in need of. This is what I need from you. And this is what I did, and I'm asking you to forgive me. Because they may only tell a few things, and then you're not forgiven for the other stuff. We have a relationship with God. And I forget going to somebody else as an intermediate. I want to be able to go to God as my own and tell God all my business. Because at the end of the day, no matter what, I know that it's safe in the arms of God. No. It says, be sober and be vigilant, because one, your adversary, the devil, is as a roaring lion, walking about, seeking to whom he may devour. We don't understand this. One of the things I realize, not everybody that smiles at you is your friend. Not everybody that smiles at you. not every, when I was growing up, they used to say, not everybody that pats you on the back is your friend. Some of them just looking for a soft place to stab you later. You have to understand that the devil is working overtime because the devil knows your gifts. He knows who you can be if you understood how valuable you are. And so what he does is he'll lie to you and tell you that because of your past, God can never love you again. Because the devil knows where he's going. And misery loves company. And he knows that the hell is a great big place. And there's a whole lot of room for a whole lot of people. So he wants to take as many people with him. So that's why there's a value in understanding who you are. There's a value in understanding the relationship that you have with God. Because no matter what you do, look, let's be honest. I had some good times in the world. But I will tell you this. There is nothing that I look back on now that I say, I would do it again. It wasn't that good. There is nothing in the world that I experienced that I would walk away from God for. Not one thing. Because at the end of the day, I don't care if it's money, would you give a God for $100 million? No. No. Really, you wouldn't? No, why? Because I can get the money right now and die 2 seconds later and still didn't have anything. Now I'm dead and going to hell. No, it's not worth it. It is not. Once you understood the privilege of being a child of God, nothing else will do. When you understand the value of who you are and who your daddy is, and I always look at this as, even when you look at politicians and you look at their children. Well, let's skip this one. Let's look at Obama and his children. Their girls always carry themselves with a certain elegance because they knew who their daddy was. And that's how we should walk as children. If they could usher their father that way, how much more should we could usher our father? And be able to walk and hold our head up. Why as a Christian should I always be looking like I'm down, like the world is beating me up? And yet I tell everybody, I serve a great and mighty God. But you can't smile? You can't say a nice thing to somebody, but you serve a great and mighty God. And a lot of times we miss out on the opportunity to present God. Let me tell you, you can present God without ever opening your mouth. Just how you carry yourself. If people will know. You ever have somebody walk up to you and tell you that I can see the glory on you. They could see something on you. I had a guest one time. He was telling me, he said, Steve, I don't know what to do. I'm like, what's wrong? He goes, I don't tip. I never tip. He says, just not me. I don't understand the tipping thing. I don't tip. He said, but I'm a Christian. And I said, so what's the problem? And he says, God told me as I'm about ready to leave that you are his child and he loves you and I ought to tip. So I'm like, that's between you and God. If God told you what to do, don't ask me to go in and get in the middle of it. And he was like, but I never tip. And I'm like, well, that's between you and God. If God told you to do something, don't come to me and ask me for a way out. That's between you and God. And so he ended up tipping and just walked away shaking his head like, I don't know how that happened. But that's the God that we serve. I will tell you, I remember I was going to a men's Bible study. And we were at a 7-Eleven, my car broke down. And I was having a conversation with God. How can my car, I had a flat tire. How can I get a flat tire going? I'm on the way to prayer. I'm on the way to men's prayer. We're going to pray to you, and I get a flat tire. And as soon as I finish having this pity party, this guy pulls into the 7-Eleven. And he goes, I know you don't know me. He goes, but God sent me to change your tire.
Amen. That's
like,
what we serve.
Mighty God. I'm happy now. So I open up the trunk and I begin to take the tire out. And the gentleman says, I don't want to offend you. He goes, but God asked me to change the tire. Because if you help me, I'm going to miss my blessings. I'm like,
okay.
And the man changed the tire, and I offered him some of the money, and he was like, no. He said, the Lord told me to change it. The Lord has blessed me in another way. Let me tell you, God will take care of you. God will open up. Look, yes, when the word said that your gifts will make room for you. Let me tell you, if you only knew how good God was, if you just understood that, all you have to do is do your part. And I'm not saying that I'm anything but perfect. I'm a work in progress every day. But the Lord will bless you if you stay committed to Him. The only regret that I have is that I waited so long. I grew up being one of the only ones going to church in my household on a regular basis. And if I had to change everything, I would have never stopped going to church. Because you live in a world and you just want to experience what the world has, and I will tell you, it was a waste of time. It was a waste of time. Yes. I got to college. I was a sophomore. I was going to St. Lawrence University. Everybody was drinking, so you know what? I got to show I can hang, and I'm drinking and trying to hang out with everybody else and making a fool out of myself. And all I remember is laying down on the bed. To this day, I don't remember anything after that. I woke up the next day at my dorm. Don't know how I got there. I'm sleeping on the floor. I got vomit in my hair. I am sick. I couldn't eat nothing for like a week. I went to the what they call, I guess, the infirmary on campus, and the doctor said you had alcohol poisoning. One more drink, you would have died. One more drink, because my body wasn't used to it, but because I'm amongst friends, and you got to, I got to show off, and none of them. Sometimes you think people are your friends. None of them said, "No, hey man, slow down. Drink, man, drink." And so you think that you're missing out on something. The only thing I missed out was almost dying. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. There is nothing in this world that I would replace for a relationship with God. It's not worth it. I could have died in a massive vomit and had nothing to show for it but a destination to hell. All for what? It's not worth it. Since Matthew 6:5 says, "And when I pray, I shall not be as the hypocrites are. For they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corner of the streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, that is their reward." Look, our relationship with God is personal. You don't have to stand in the middle of the street and tell God, "See how good I am, God? I'm on the corner praying, and all these sinners are walking past me, God. But Lord, remember me." And we don't have to be that. We want our relationship and our conversation, our prayer life with God. It's just simple. Lord, this is me. Just simple me. I'm not perfect, Lord. You know my sins. You know my shortcomings. Forgive me, mighty God. Develop a new character into me, mighty God. Lord, if it is your will that I wake up in the morning, Lord, I pray that I wake up in my right mind. That's simple, it. You know what? Every day you wake up in your right mind. You know how important that is? You look at this day, I've never seen so many people with mental illness. But you know what? It's the work of the devil, because the Word of God said it is with the mind that we serve God. So if you lose your mind, people always talk about, "No, let me give you a piece of my mind." Look, you've given people a piece of your mind, you had nothing left for yourself. You have to protect your mind. That's why you can't, as a Christian, you can't look at everything. You can't go everywhere that everybody else goes, because there is something special about you that needs to be preserved. And when you know that you're valuable, you just can't mix with just anything. As we pray, you'll learn to hear the voice of God. Just as Jesus said, those who know him. So John 10:27 says, "My sheep hear my voice, and they know them, and they follow me." However, remember that it takes time to learn how to accurately hear from God. Sometimes you may know he's speaking to you through the Holy Spirit. Other times you may not be sure. But the more you understand who God is through his word and your mind is changed, for the more you are able to discern when he is speaking to you and when he is not. Romans 12:2 says, and be not conformed to this world, but be what? Transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what that is good and acceptable. Our mind, we have to guard our mind. That's why they would say, I put on a helmet of salvation. Why? You have to protect your mind. Because the devil, there's so many things in this world, that I remember when I was growing up, if you want to see a dirty magazine or something like that, they were hidden in a store. And now you have access to anything, whether on your phone or your internet. The world is just grooming to swallow you up. So if you have to guard your mind, you have to guard your eyes into what you see, that it keeps you in that pure mind. Step 4 is spend time with like-minded people. That's crucial. You cannot be an effective Christian and every day you're hanging out at the bar because your friends go to the bar. Don't work that way. There is something about fellowship. There is something about having a mentor or someone that can groom you up and develop you and be able to see somebody that, especially when you're younger in Christ, you can look at somebody and speak to them and watch them grow in their maturity and learn from them. And if you don't have that, then you have nobody to mentor you. You don't have anybody to emulate. It's because being close in a relationship with others who know him is a vital part to developing an intimate love relationship with him. Hebrews 10:25, the New Living Translation says, and let us not neglect our meeting together as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of his returning is drawing near. Look, when we come together, it is so that we can encourage one another. When we get the word from God spoken to us on Sunday, it's to fill us up because we went through the whole week. And now we're empty because we've given so much of ourselves. And we come back to church on Sunday just asking, Lord, give me a word that will keep me for the rest of the week until we meet again. It's important. You can't, and I do hear people say that, and I do understand. I was speaking to a gentleman who we were talking about coming to church, and he was saying that how he could not come to church. He said his father had Alzheimer's really bad. He could not leave his father. He said not even for an hour just to go to church. He could not leave him. It was just too difficult to take his father to church. He said, so the only thing that saved him was online ministry. And he said, he was able to tune in to Bible study and everything online. And he said, so when his dad finally passed away, he was able to go to church. But what did he do? The first thing he did was he got involved in online ministry because he understood how vital it is. See, a lot of times when we're streaming, it's not necessarily for us.
True.
It's for those who can't. And now they're opening up programs where even those in different jails can have access to worship that is streamed through live. So it gives you the ability to be able to reach somebody else. I think it was Malika was telling me that we had somebody from Africa that was commenting on something. That's the impact. This little church in Oviedo can make a difference in somebody's life in Africa. That's the power of what we have. So we're no longer limited to the size of just our natural church. We are now a church that has a footprint internationally. And that's how we have to be able to see our walk with God, our walk and our relationship with God. We don't know who we're going to meet. We don't know what we're going to. God has placed me in a place at work where I can talk to young culture reps that come from Africa, and some of them have been willing to come to church, but at least that they get to see a relationship, because a lot of them are young and they've been going to church. But you know what? I'm in America. Nobody knows me. And I can do anything that I want because I got a year of freedom. And a lot of times they mess themselves up. Just the other day I was talking to somebody who was a young man. When he came to work, you can see that he wasn't quite there, but he wasn't sure what team he was playing on. 2 months later, you knew what team he was playing. Man, he went from like a little this to all the way in no time. Why? Because nobody's here. I got no family. Another coach said she knows his family. He would never do that back at home. But because he's away from everybody, now he's as flamboyant as they can be. And we have an awesome opportunity to witness the relationship that we have with God to other people. All right, step 5. There's only 106 steps. Be patient and stay the course. Remember that just as developing intimacy with another person takes time, so it is in a relationship with God. As you grow to trust Him and believe what He says in His Word more and more, your love affair with Him becomes increasingly fulfilling, and the abundance of life will grow inside of your spirit and your soul. I'll leave you with this. Ephesians 6, 14 through 17 says, stand for there, having your loins what? Girded about with truth, and having your breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of what? Peace. And it says, above all, take the shield of faith, wherewith you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Take it with you. Why? Because we need to be protected. We need to be protected. Because we live in a world in which which is not our home. And this is only a temporary stop. We can't afford to allow ourselves to become victims of the things of this world. Because at the end of the day, we know that this is not our final resting place. So I can't afford to adapt the policies of this world, because I know this is not where I'm going to stay. My relationship with God is greater than what this world has to offer. So I don't want to spend so much time in this world that I become part of it. We're called to be separated. And to be separated is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes we grow up and we think to be separated simply means something bad. But to be separated is because you have something of value. And you cannot afford to let the world contaminate you and take away what is valuable. So you separate yourself. It doesn't mean that you perceive that you're so much better than someone. It's just that you understand that my relationship with God is worth much more than anything that the world has to give me. And I will not allow the world to mess me up. May God bless you. We'll just go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and just stand up. And we'll stand and close off in prayer. If anybody has any prayer, I'm going to ask you to do this. Everybody just join hands. Just reach over the aisle, grab a hand of someone. And whatever it is that you have need of, I'm asking you just to whisper it. Whatever it is that you want God to do for you right now, just whisper it. Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you, mighty God, for once again this opportunity, mighty God, Father. Lord, your children stand in your midst today, mighty God, Father. Lord, each one with needs, mighty God, Father. Each one with requests, mighty God, Father. Lord, I don't know the needs, mighty God, Father, but Lord, you know them, mighty God, Father. Lord, they were whispered in the air, mighty God, Father, carried on angels' wings, mighty God, Father. Lord, I ask you right now, mighty God, Father, Lord, to exceed every need, mighty God, Father. Exceed every expectation, mighty God, Father. Lord, I pray that you will move upon your people, mighty God, Father. Lord, I pray, mighty God, that their life will never be the same, mighty God, Father. And Lord, whatever they're in need of, mighty God, as long as it aligns itself with you, mighty God, Father, that you will bless them, mighty God, Father. Lord, that you would keep them, mighty God, in the bosom, mighty God, Father. That you would keep them, mighty God, Father, in their right mind, mighty God, Father. Lord, I ask you to preserve their mind, mighty God, Father. Let your Shekinah glory, mighty God, walk with them through the rest of this week, mighty God, Father. Lord, when they come upon the dark situations of life, mighty God, let your light so shine, mighty God, Father. Let them know, mighty God, no matter what, they are never alone, mighty God, Father. Let them know, mighty God, Father, that you will carry them, mighty God, that you will walk with them, mighty God, Father, that you would see them through, mighty God, Father. And no matter how bad things get, mighty God, Father, remind us, mighty God, Father, that we can do all things, mighty God, Father, through you, mighty God. Lord, we thank you in advance, mighty God, Father, for the blessings, mighty God. We thank you for the transformation that's going to happen, mighty God, Father. We thank you, mighty God, for the blessings, mighty God, that you're going to bestow upon us, mighty God, Father. Right now, mighty God, we give you honor, mighty God. We thanking you right now, mighty God, Father. Before it even materialized, mighty God, we're giving you thanks, mighty God, because we know, Lord, mighty God, that you are worthy, mighty God, Father. Lord, you are worthy, mighty God, Father. And nothing, mighty God, changes our mind, mighty God, Father. We know who you are, mighty God, Father. We know who we are in you, mighty God, Father. Lord, I pray, mighty God, for our pastor, mighty God, Father. Lord, as they about to make their way home, mighty God, Father, remember each one of them, mighty God, Father. Lord, I pray for journey mercies, mighty God, Father. Lord, I pray that your angels, mighty God, will go before them, mighty God, Father. Removing every stumbling block, mighty God, Father. Removing every tool of the enemy, mighty God, Father, that they may return here safely, mighty God, Father. And Lord, as we're about to leave here, mighty God, Father, we don't leave your presence, mighty God. Go with us wherever we go, mighty God. Keep us, mighty God, Father, on the right path, mighty God. Order our steps, mighty God, and give us the wisdom to follow through, mighty God. We thank you right now for the healing and restoration of your people. In Jesus' name, amen.
Summertime now, you know, please give Sister Myers and me a date as to what is good for you. We start our volunteering, Volunteer Orlando we're doing, Hope we're doing, and Harvest Time. And Sister Joyce's retirement home. Yes. So all the adults would like to come. We're going to